Good morning, Miss Mary Jo. Tell me a little bit about what you do with CI Web Group.
Good morning, Jennifer. I am a program manager here at CI Web Group. I've been here for a few months and it's been a great experience so far.
How is it different working with the PEs as far as I know they have different kinds of reporting requirements and a lot more moving pieces. One
Yes.
private equity group with multiple branches. What do you notice as some of the biggest differences or things that are important to them?
Um, Definitely budget-wise, because there are so many moving pieces and branches, just making sure that their money is spent appropriately and if there's they want to spend their money. They don't want to leave any money on the table for their marketing, um, just sitting there. So if they have a little wiggle room to move something over, like from PPC to something else, like they want us to be able to adjust the budget very quickly, and to make changes on demand pretty fast.
What about roll-up reporting and ROAS data? How critical is it to them?
It's huge. I think a lot of our requests and a lot of our time spent is on talking about the reporting, and just making sure that we have a single source of truth for them, so that way they can bring it to their board meetings and show their executives like, hey, our marketing is working and this is how it's working.
What are some of the KPIs that you hear during your guys' strategy calls that are critical to them? What are some of the things that they look at on a regular basis?
Well, the ROAS, that's for sure. How many leads are coming in, um, the estimates on the table still, and that tells a story of, so we have the leads in, but what can they be doing to close out the estimates?
What do you see when it comes to how their CSRs are managing those unique leads as they're coming in? Or what are some of the challenges or things that are critical for them to get the greatest value?
Yeah, I think just making sure that that the whole department is trained and know how to properly mark, what a lead is, and training them on just like the terms and what everything means, and what is qualified as a good opportunity lead, things like that.
Tell me a little bit about how your meeting cadence goes with your private equity groups. How frequently are you guys meeting? Kind of what's the makeup look like of who's all on those meetings? What's the participation level? What does it look like to be a private equity group working with CI Web Group and your guys'
We,
squad?
we are so involved. A lot of our clients we meet a couple times a week. So, we have different meetings. Some days it's just based on reporting. Some days it's just based on a strategy of what we're going to do next week. Um, we do monthly reviews from the previous month to see like what was working and like what we want to do for the next month. So we are very heavily involved. There's emails flying around every single day. So there's a lot of touch points. We don't leave anybody hanging.
As you guys are working with the different private equity groups, how are they typically allocating their budgets across what different forms, or where do you see them investing the most to be able to get the greatest return as they're acquiring new companies, trying to get them off the ground and get them marketing property?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, SEO is a huge thing, but we know, SEO is like investing. It takes time, it's you put your money in it and you wait for it to slowly build and slowly build. So obviously, of course, that's a huge one. And then paid search, that's another a huge tactic that they do.
So you guys have 1,000 moving pieces every day, all the
Yeah.
time. How do you juggle it?
You have to be organized and you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to work and you have to be organized and you have to work together as a team.
What kind of technology do you guys use to support the project management side of the business? And what kind of training have you guys been through regarding project management?
I just finished a Scrum training and that was great. I learned so much with that. Um, so we do that training. I mean, you do webinars all the time that we watch the recordings or we hop on live if we can. Um, So I know like our company is huge on making sure that we stay trained and up to date on everything. And as far as all the technology, I mean, we have so many programs that we use.
So, what other questions do you wish were part of the conversation? You know, you guys only have a limited time. You're already meeting multiple times a week. You've got your big, you know, kind of giant meetings you have at the end of the month, your planning sessions. And I know you have a lot to talk about between paid ads and SEO and social media and GLSA and everything else. But and new website projects and acquisitions and all of this stuff. But
Yeah.
what do you wish there was time to talk about during those meetings?
What they're doing like outside of our tactics, you know, like what other marketing things that they're doing. You know, because it does all tie together and, you know, like their social media or, you know, their mailing. Are they doing mailing? Are they going to events, you know, and promoting their business? So stuff like that. CSR trainings, you know, like you know, making sure that once we deliver them the leads, that they are handling them properly and, you know, that they're going down the funnel appropriately. You know, because we can serve you something on a silver platter, but you can't drop it.